My name is Dahveed Jawara, or Sgan Ahtur Dahveed Jawara. Shalom, peace and blessing. First, giving all praise to Yah, Yisrael. I'm thankful to be here today at H.O.E Organic with my group of Nature Walk. We're about to start our journey with Dr. Asare, and he's going to explain the different herbs and different things that's growing here at H.O.E Organic. So we want you to enjoy and learn and be thankful for all the wonderful things that we have in nature. And we're thankful for all the people that came out today to be a part of this great journey of healing and learning about all the blessings that the Creator has put here for us. Sila.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I think the world is now in a phase of history which I call we who are living now are the luckiest. Because now it's very difficult for evildoers who do their evil through promoting of ignorance and prejudice will not have their way again, because it's now very easy to get information. Very, very easy. People have seen science traveling at lightning speed, but I think the vibration of man is traveling 10,000 times more than that, because it's like history is literally merging the past with the future. And I remember in the 70s when I started teaching as a teacher right from the Teachers Training College, one of the things I used to tell my students was that people don't meet by accident. There is always a divine interaction. So those of us meeting here, we never met by accident. And we should make the best out of that meeting. I started off as a healer, unknowing, at the age of 5 when I was just in first grade, primary 1. And I cannot even remember why they say I'm a healer, because I can't remember how I healed those people at that tender age. But I can just remember a little bit about my secondary school days, where when my mates were sick, I just tell them, shut up, take this water and drink, you'll be okay. And about 99.9% of the time, they were okay. Wow. So at a point, I saw that I've been chosen to heal. And that's the title of my book, Chosen to Heal, my first book. Well, but then I went a step further to not only believe, but to activate the spirit that all of us who met were chosen to heal in our families. Because as I was growing up as a child in Ghana, there was always somebody in the family who knew something about health. Because in those days, there were no exploitative places of sick care. They call it health care, but I call it sick care. Because if you can train doctors and tell them that a patient healed is a customer lost, then what are you telling them? So you always hear them talking about, oh, you have to manage this sickness well. I think it's only landed property that is managed, but not sickness. Sickness is not a property. So you don't manage sickness. You cure it, you clear it off. And we are hearing things like Ramsar site, the world ecosystem, this, that, WHO is doing this, United Nations is doing this. To us Africans who have lived here throughout, all these things are nothing new, because as a child, I grew up in Winneba, attended Winneba Methodist Primary. You see, and especially in the fancy areas, they have Asafo companies. They worked, and they had different names in different areas, but there were these youth that were normally trained to uphold the culture of the area and to also protect the ecosystem. Our people never abused and destroyed the forest. They have specific guidelines and you dare not go against it. Other than that, when the Asafo companies get hold of you, you'll be so sorry. If we still had Asafo companies in Ghana, there would have been nothing like this illegal mining messing up people, because the Asafo companies or the youth groups, the traditional cultural youth groups, were so strong those days that even the king or the chief dare not disobey the laws of the land. But now, a lot of the chiefs that are really good have been rather stripped of their power and have been neutralized by what is wrongly called democracy, which I know it to be democracy, because over here in our system, speaking of the truth was a way of life. You don't have to struggle to speak the truth, because everybody knew that the deities and the natural spirits were listening to every conversation you were having. So you talk, and you talk well. Whatever you do it and do it well. You don't destroy the system. And like I was just discussing when we were coming in the car right now, how can you be in West Africa and decide that somebody in Europe, in Britain, comes to tell you that this is the syllabus he has given you for agriculture? How much does he know about your plants? And the funniest thing is that they call some plants weeds. A weed is a plant without use. The mere fact that you don't know the use doesn't make it useless, because everything has a use. And you see, we've carried that sort of institutionalized form of ignorance, perpetration of ignorance and misinformation into all our facets of life, to the extent that we claim people who are educated are those who have gone to certain institutions, sit for an exam, pass it, and then get certain decorations and certificates. Oh, the guy is highly educated. He's highly schooled. But whether he's educated, I don't know. Because I know an educated person must be useful to himself and to his environment. If you have a bunch of certificates and you are not useful to anybody, you are not educated. You are just schooled. Okay, and that is the problem Africa is having now. Trying to pitch our standards by how somebody describes what is good to us. Can you imagine me asking the rep from the Ministry of Health who met us as natural healers, with the Ghana Psychic and Traditional Healers Organization, who I represent as their speaker. I asked him this simple question. Do you have an idea about the field trials that are made on weedicides before they are brought to Ghana and Africa? He said, no, we have to ask the Ministry of Agric. But you are with health. And health does not just mean swallowing of pills and cutting of people with surgery. I've always said this, and I'll say it again here. If the Almighty Creator wanted us to know what is inside our stomach, there would have been a zipper here. We are not cleverer than him. He would have put a natural zipper here so that anytime there's a mistake there, you just open it, correct it, and close it. But the Creator gave us vents into the system, the front door, the back door, and it has some windows all over there. Okay, so if you are sick and you cannot use the front door and the back door, and you have to cut through the wall, imagine we're sitting down in this room here, somebody comes, he will not knock on the door, he will not call us through the window, and by the time you hear, he's breaking through the wall. And you ask him, what are you doing? He said, I want to come inside the house. By breaking through the wall, you can't pass through the front gate, no back gate. You can't not even cut through any window. And you are breaking the wall. It's just like what we do in surgery. You forget about the front door and the back door and all the windows. That is why we have inhalers and all those things that you can put into your nose and your ears and all that. We don't use any of that. And our people had all these things set in place. There was one funny question. I also tried to answer it very well. I think when I was in Texas in 2009, and somebody asked me, in Africa, I understand you don't allow children to talk, you shut them down. And the same way, you are very, very hostile towards women. I said it's only in Africa that we have queen mothers. And when there is a serious decision to be taken, it is still in our speech. In the Akan language, they say bisabrewa. Go ask the old lady. It means you are going to confer with those who have idea about what you are doing. So one, we say the child who knows how to wash his hands eats with the adults. So we are able to pick talents out of the children, and they are allowed to speak with the adults because they will take over from us anyway. So no African shuts down a child not to talk. That's a lie. Mm-hmm. And they talk about herbs. Oh, the herbalists of old were very wicked. They don't teach anything to nobody. Look, the truth is that knowledge is like fire. You can't keep it. It will heat you up. If you are really knowledgeable, you feel like always sharing it.
Absolutely. Right. Doc, hold your point there. I want to share something with you on this point. They teach that African, some of them was wicked. But don't you know that the British, when they came to Africa, they went to all of the traditional doctors and they gathered all the information and they put it in a book. You can get this book. It's called The Woody Plants of Africa. Okay? So they didn't just come to Africa and colonize. They went into the interiors and found all the doctors. They tell me what you know. What's this for? What's this for? So the doctor's absolutely right. The Europeans know the secret because they recorded them from many of the doctors. They went to Uganda and the English-speaking colonies, so-called colonies, Ghana, Nigeria. They was able to record and put in a thick book. And I got a copy of the book. And they really did us a favor because now we know many things that our ancestors knew. So I just wanted to share that. Continue, Doc.
And like I was saying, if it was true that our people were wicked, they wouldn't have even talked to anybody. But because they were kind and because knowledge is like fire, you can't keep it, they were able to share it. But what really kept a lot of knowledge away from future generations is not because individuals were wicked and they don't want to teach anything. It is because it was intentionally planned that we should. Any of you read about King Leopold's letter to the missionaries coming to Africa? And when you go, make them, don't even teach them about God. They already know God already. But in order for us to keep our hold on them, just make sure that you don't teach them anything that was beneficial. Let them know they are inferior. Everything from them is inferior. So it was from the so-called formal educational system and the religion they brought here. The Muslims will change your name and you have to speak some Arabic, and then with Christianity, they make sure that they will teach you that anything that you do was wrong.
And speak in tongues.
All that you did was wrong. You see, because I was told, I never met that one anyway, but I was told that at times, even when they have festivals, they will send some of the school prefects to go and write the names of those who went and joined in the festival, like Abuacher. If they see you a young man going to Abuacher, it means you are going to something fetish. But you know, I asked them this simple question. My understanding of fetish is something created by the hand of man and revered or worshipped by that same man. I never met my ancestors worshipping a carved stick. I saw their shrines under trees, especially big trees like the baobab, or by the rivers close to a cavern. They pour their libation over there. So if where my ancestors worship under the tree, you come and cut a piece or a branch of that tree and you formulate it into whatever image, whether a cross or whatever. You made that cross with your hands. So now, who is fetish? You who made the cross with your hands, according to the meaning of the word fetish, or my ancestors who lived under the tree that they didn't make with their hands. Your guess is as good as mine. So a lot of misinformation went on over and over again. For example, the latest information about the coronavirus that some of us kept on saying, oh, this is just a flu. These people are just blowing it out of proportion to use it as a chemical warfare. People didn't believe us. Now you see the havoc it has caused. Unrepairable damage. We have been healing our people from a very long time. And I believe that the world was created by a plan. Before you build a house, you get an architect. He imagines it and puts it in a diagram and builds it. I don't think the Almighty Creator just put us here in Africa for nothing. He put us here, and all that we needed, He added to us here. That's why even when I'm talking to our brothers and sisters in America, when I went there, I always say that I don't care how many years your ancestry has been distorted from here. Where you originally come from is where everything that belongs to your DNA comes from. So there is nothing like you coming to Africa and you eat anything and you can get an allergy from it unless and until it has been destroyed by the hand of man, by agrochemicals. Because this idea of allergy, I just pick it like how people talk about hereditary disease. If I decide to eat wrongly and I have a problem, I don't see why my child should be eating right and have the same problem. It doesn't even add up. But those are the things that they teach in the so-called prestigious medical schools. So if by God's grace, either by karma itself, making sure that the chickens are coming back home to roost, and they are feeling so hot in the kitchen over there in Babylon, we have to leave them and come home because they don't have any home here. In fact, their color will even give them off. They don't have any home here. All of us have a home here. You have a home here. She has a home here. He has a home here. He has a home here. So let's come over here, learn what we can here, see the opportunities, and try to blow them up for ourselves. Because some of us can just put together some leaves. And I did a study recently and found out that almost all the herbs that are coming from southern India, there are some in West Africa here. Because just like Brother David said, we are so lucky. We are in the center of the earth. We have both the equator and the meridian passing through Ghana. So there is nothing that we cannot do over here. The Japanese have this thing they call forest bathing. Just walking through the forest and then it's able to release some stress from you. And I don't think there is a more effective forest bathing like to be among your own people. One of my guys from New Orleans came here and he told me that one of the best things I can feel about it is that I can walk for so long in every crowd and everybody I see just looks like me. He said one of the most beautiful things he could feel was that. And we just opened a new radio station last week I was talking about, sponsored by the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated. And back as late as 1995, I was the only person trying to gather Rastafarians around because it was like anybody who went natural was doing something evil, to the extent that people even have branded some foods in Ghana as very bad. You meet with an ordinary person right now and you ask you, if you eat a lot of gari, it will impair your eye. So the guy who kept on telling me that, I made an ice cream with gari for him. He didn't know it was it. He ate it, licked all his hands, licked the spoon and everything. Then I told him, George, you know what? My next book, I'm going to put your name on it. That a lot of you here in Ghana, thank you. You are killing yourself by your mind. there is this book I read way back in 81 when I was in Liberia. And as if by design, where I went is also where my brother also went. I bought that book in 81, Mind as Healer, Mind as Slayer. There was this guy who made the heart transplant and tried to prove that many people die when their brain stops working, not when their heart stops beating. So if you can get somebody whose brain is still very active and positive, even though the heart will stop beating, they can move the heart temporarily and replace it or repair it and still keep going. But when your brain is damaged through misinformation and ignorance, in fact, I'm coming out with my next book, The Pandemic of Ignorance.
Doc, on that note, you mentioned brain. I just by the spirit when you picked this one. Everybody saw me, right?
Yeah.
This is for the brain, Damiana. Okay? It's electrical. Okay? He just said brains. I'm just saying. I picked 4 or 5 different herbs, but the one that this sister's holding, everyone is the Damiana. Good for the brain. This one, Gotacola, which we have here, and the Ginkgo Biola for the brain. They're talking to us. As the doc is talking, these plants are talking to us. Remember Stevie Wonder, The Secret Life of Plants? Continue.
So we have everything at our disposal. And just like Bob Marley says, the fool is thirsty means a lot of water. If we can have all this information and all these resources, and the best thing our schooling and our so-called education or sophistication can teach us is to go cap in hands, trotting around the world. Please, can you borrow me this money? And I'm going to give you conditions. Yes, I accept any condition. And they tell you, oh, you know what? If you want us to say you are very democratic, you obey democratic values, don't support the individuals who are brainy in your country. If you do that, that will be communism, that will be socialism. But let me tell you what, Africans by our nature, we are social. I thought it was only here in Ghana, but when I was in Louisiana, I also saw that all the black families, you get into their house and they will immediately say, my friend, come and eat. It's the same thing we do in Ghana here. Nobody is going to do like Britain where they give you a piece of newspaper to read. When they finish the dinner, then they will come and welcome you. It's un-African. You see, so if we work socially, we're going to get ahead. For example, I was talking about this planting when we were coming, that the plantain tree alone can do so many things. You can even use it to purify the water they are destroying because of its high potassium. And you can use it to cure diabetes, gangrene, and a lot of cancers and cancerous sores. You see, we have so much knowledge here. There was this guy called Albert Karim. He came from one of the East European countries, and he was a member of Veg Ghana.
Yes, I remember him.
He used to write a lot of articles into the Weekly Spectator. And they went to the Bagre Festival in Upper West. And his friend took him to greet some of his family members. He greeted one of his friends, uncles, and immediately the guy told him that your hand has been broken before, but it has not been mended well. You see, this is pure African science. He didn't use all the big machines in the world to come and test it. So he asked him, is that not true? He said, yes, my hand was broken, but it has been broken 20 years ago. And you see, in Africa, somebody has just shook your hands and was able to tell you your hand has been broken before. You need all kinds of machines in Europe and America to be able to detect a little bit of that. And when a black or an African does this, oh, then there's something bad about it. One thing I believe is that you cannot love somebody else and hate yourself. They say, love your neighbor as yourself. That is a description. You need to love yourself well so that you know the basis by which you love your neighbor. It's like we are in heaven and we shouldn't run away to go to hell. Because if we are to look at all the different antiquated theories that are being used to teach in our schools, right from the grade school to college, you can say that it is a planned way of misinforming the people so that you can control them. You know, the more ignorant you are, the easier is it for you to be controlled. You see, because if you go out there and you call yourself, oh, who say I'm an African? I'm an African American. Have you ever seen an Irish man talking about I'm an Irish American? It doesn't happen. It's only our people who mislead themselves, you see. And we should not forget that the earth itself listens. So if you disassociate yourself from the original place, the things that are from that place will not benefit you. And the greatest gift anybody can give you is the gift of not just knowledge, but right functional knowledge. If somebody gives you a knowledge that will dehumanize you, it doesn't empower you. So that knowledge is power is not always true in all circumstances. It's the right knowledge that gives you the right power, that empowers you. If you are being fed with the wrong knowledge, that knowledge is not power. That knowledge is humiliation. So very soon we will climb up here and then I will start giving some of the plants as we go. It treats a whole lot of illnesses. You chew it, is good for the throat.
And what is it called again?
It builds the immune system. The leaf of life.
Yes.
Leaf of life.
Leaf of life. Correct. That one is something.
You can chew it raw just like I'm chewing this one.
It's good for the throat. You said leaf of life is good for the throat.
And it's also good for the general immune system. You can make a tea with it. And it's very, very good.
You eat it raw. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they easy to grow too. You can take one leaf and put it in a container. It just keep growing.
And it's one of the plants that can grow just by the leaf.
Yes.
This leaf, you put this leaf down. Even when you put it in a book, it doesn't dry.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
You see it rooting.
Wow.
The leaf of life.
Wow.
And
Some of those.
we meet one of the most important plants in Ghana that all the botanists in Ghana does not even care about, but it's so important. This is a very serious antibiotic.
Is it? Wow. What do you use, the juice that comes out of the stem?
No, The leaf can be dried and it can be used for anemia and at the same time for helping people who always lack appetite.
It's a stimulant.
I need that.
It's a stimulant.
Yes.
I don't eat.
How much? What's it called?
It helps you.
The name, the name is called.
You eat it
I don't know
raw?
no. I don't know the name. I just know the botanical name, Tabodantana crassa. Very long name.
How do you utilize it?
You can dry it and use it as a tea.
Okay, that's right. Sorry. Drying for tea.
Fantastic.
And the root bark, not the whole root, the root bark can be added to any form of natural antibiotic and it enhances its properties. Yes. Trying to get away. And then the bitter leaf.
Oh, the bitter leaf. What is the bitter leaf for?
It's so good.
Anybody want bitter leaf?
It can help with digestion. It keeps away your flu and infections. You can have a bitter leaf tea at least twice or 3 times a week if you want to keep at bay malaria and some of those funny infections. Yes.
So you just boil it and drink it as a tea.
No, you just have to infuse it. The heat don't have to be too much, otherwise the active nutrients will be destroyed. So you can just dry it at room temperature, blend it into powder, and then, like I normally used
Mix it with
to
water,
do.
just drink it.
Yeah, you can put it into a little bit of hot water with maybe your clove powder or something, and then you drink it. It's always good to keep dosing yourself with
Bitters.
with natural. And one thing is,
No, we'll go up to here.
most of the things that taste bitter purify and strengthen the liver. Those of you who are meat eaters will agree with me that the bile in the liver, when it accidentally bursts onto your meat, it becomes so bitter you can't eat it. And then this plant is very few people who can recognize it at this stage. It makes a nice flower. It has all the properties of ashwagandha,
Wow, what's the name of it?
but we are not able to project our things. I don't know what the botanists are doing. And even with the palm tree, the leaf itself contains so much vitamin A. I ever did some leaf curd powder from it that were being given to children who are malnourished. And it built up their vitamin A so well. But not only kids are malnourished now. Now most of the adults are malnourished because you see, malnourishment has been wrongly described by the Caucasian. The Caucasian sees malnourishment as the quantity of food. But over here we see it as the quality of food. That's the reason why over here, when a woman becomes pregnant, immediately her diet changes. You see, the elderly ones who know about health will start telling her, you know how to mix your soup with this leaf and this leaf and this seed. Wow. All that they are teaching them is high multivitamin and electrolyte foods. Because you see, Once the person is pregnant, she's eating for 2 people, for herself and for the baby. So they are taught those things, and I wonder if people can do this and really prevent sicknesses for so many years, thousands of years, and you still call these people uneducated, then I don't know what your type of education means.
Right, when those same communities are dying young from heart disease and cancer.
Okay. No, this is the acacia tree here. This is the one I was telling you about, that they uprooted a lot of the indigenous plants for this tree. This is a cash crop, okay? Not only do they make charcoal primarily out of this, but they sell charcoal, so it brings them sika, okay? So the village make a lot on this tree, but we are gradually uprooting these acacia trees here and replacing them with trees that's not cash crop, but life crop, you know, that's going to give you life, okay? We're going to bring in more of the trees that can sustain us, okay?
And the acacia itself is a very powerful internal organ detoxifier.
It wards off evil spirits as well, right?
Oh.
You can dry the leaves and put it in your house to keep the evil spirits away.
Nunu is known for that primarily, but maybe these two. I know Nunu.
The flower of this is for STDs,
Wow.
gonorrhea and everything. You just add a little bit of
The yellow flower?
the yellow
there.
flower, yes.
Here you go.
Towards the top up there.
And listen to me very carefully. The roots are the most perfect cure for typhoid.
Oh,
Now that people are so much running away from it, the only thing is that it's bitter, but it's very, very good.
wow.
Because you know, typhoid is
Salmonella.
an attack on the liver. That's why when you get typhoid continuously, you are definitely going to have a problem with liver cirrhosis. And you see, a lot of things I have done are coming to pass. I told people some years ago, about 20 years ago, I think just when we started this our trips, that anything that the Caucasian does not know about it, a disease, then he start putting them into types. Like sickle cell, SC, AC, AS, what? You see, but sickle cell is sickle cell. The cell has been sickled. So you straighten it up and there's no longer sickle cell. You see, so this idea of incurable diseases is an insult they have packaged and thrown to us, and we will be damn fools to accept it.
Yes.
Because the question I ask is that to say something is incurable, it means that you have tested all the available options.
Yes.
How many places did white people travel to know that what they say is incurable is not cured by somebody?
Absolutely. And you know, again, remember now.
So whatever they don't know does not exist.
Thank you.
Wow.
Which doesn't make sense.
That's right. And then again, death is curable because it's written that one day we will overcome it. See the rabbit? The rabbit came to visit y'all. Everybody say hi to the rabbit.
Oh,
The
cute
miss-
little bunny too. Very cute. Oh my God.
On the day that you come to Nature Walk, nature sends you an angel. You never know.
You know one funny thing? Many people did not look at the scientific reason behind the lions not attacking Daniel in that biblical story. One, Daniel was a vegetarian, a vegan, and two, he was having that clear mind.
Correct.
If you are negatively thinking, things easily attack you. Okay? And I've known a lot of vegetarians who have accidentally come into the path of wild animals, and the wild animals just slept off.
Now look at the view y'all are seeing.
Oh,
Now.
it's beautiful.
Panorama.
Wow.
If,
You're so cute.
Ain't that wonderful?
if people have come here
Yes, look at. He love you.
Wow.
I'm
who
telling
would
you.
like to destroy it, it would have felt it
He
and
feel your
immediately run away.
presence, huh?
Looks like I'm coming. I'm gonna go with you guys.
So here you can see indigenous plants still here.
How can we have all this and claim we are poor?
Growing in the wild.
The poverty
Jack in the bush.
is all in the mind.
This is it. Yeah, Jack in the bush. Or a champon, they say here in Ghana. Okay?
Jump on.
Yes. Now here's the sweet leaf. Somebody was talking about this one today.
African licorice.
This one here gets rid of asthma.
Okay.
Okay?
Good.
Bronchitis.
Want to show you something?
Bronchitis. Asthma. You mix this one.
Kidney stones or
Yes.
African
Oh,
licorice?
I've been
Yes,
there.
I-
Kidney stone?
Studied
Or the
this one here.
This is it. It's a seed. If you can get it, it's yours.
Well, is that the kidney stone one? Or is that
No, the
licorice?
kidney stone is another one. It looks similar.
Yeah.
It looks similar, but this one here grows on a vine and it grows up. The kidney stone just comes a few feet high.
Okay.
Very good. So this one here cured, when I lived in the cities, which I really don't like cities, but I had to spend 2 years in a city, I caught asthma, and this cured my asthma and uprooted it. 1992, I had asthma. I lived in a crop. And city life, they had all those fumes in the air. So when you're in a city, you're in a dangerous environment. So I caught asthma, and I moved to Kaswa. It was a bush in 1993. This was growing in Kaswa. So one guy from the north named Yakubu, he said, David, take this with honey and lemon, and you will not have asthma again. That was 30 years ago. This herb, I'm testifying to you if you don't know, it
All great
cures
things are simple.
bronchitis and asthma with lemon, ginger, and honey.
Wow.
Okay? Like the doc said, cure, but you got to move out of these cities. We got to move out of these cities. Okay? We have to move out of the cities. The air is dirty, it's filthy.
All those herbs they are bringing from China, India, and selling them here.
Yeah, you can blend it.
We have
You take a leaf and
better versions of them here, and in quantities. The only thing we need now is collaboration. Who will identify them, show how it is processed, who will package them, and who will sell them. Now we have the internet, so selling is not difficult. So along the value chain, everybody makes something. And I'll be happy that all the wealth stays within us. Because you give your wealth to the white, he's coming to use that same wealth to punish you next time, to show you how stupid you are. You see?
Doc,
Identify this one.
I think you might have identified
Sorry,
that one
thank
already.
you.
Well, give it to the lady.
Yeah, sorry for it.
Okay, what is
He's
this?
gonna tell you.
I don't know its name, but I think it is for medicine.
That is so.
Monkey cola.
What is that
I
one?
think so. We're learning so much, so as time goes on, it'll hit and it will come out. That's true.
What is
Okay.
this one?
That's the monkey cola.
Monkey cola.
Monkey cola. Okay. Alrighty.
So you see,
You see today you blend
this is a complete avenue of wealth, everything. And just like David said, this plant, and I was telling you, we don't name our plants here just anyhow. They name them to connote something. This plant here they call it in Chi Anansi Dokono. Anansi's kinky. And what do we think when we hear the word Anansi? Wisdom. It brings the.
I like that.
It brings the.
Anansi
So-
the spider.
The spider, yes.
Spider, yeah.
You see, so they named it like this so that we will not forget what it does. When you dry the leaves of this and you add a little bit of honey to it, you take it yourself, it helps your memory. It can do away with Alzheimer's and whatever.
In the US, they use it for decoration.
Yeah, lantana.
We don't know.
Yeah, the lantana. I saw some in California and they have messed it up totally.
They have a lot of
Gen-
them in Morocco as well.
They have genetically changed them. You see different colors and
Yes, just for decoration. That's all they want it for. Oh, look at the little thorns.
and it is very good for memory development, this one. When these spots arrive, they become black. When you eat them, they are sweet, very nice.
Oh. Like this?
Oh yes. When you eat them.
So nature has a lot of herbs and vegetables. You know what they call them water leaf, huh? They grow here in abundance, just out of the ground. So you got your vegetables, dandelion, all these things are here, and you have a consciousness of abundance by living out here. Because everything you need is here. Water is here growing. I mean, it comes from the heavens. The indigenous plants that's here. The medicine is here, and the vegetables are here. And then you just bring on the other nice stuff that you may want to add to it. But basically, you can live here. And then if you can't be hungry because everywhere, everything is planted. People are planting stuff all over this area. Cassava, corn. You can just have so much to eat out here. Pawpaw, you name it. The birds plant the seed. They
And
need to eat, and they just
one thing we don't know is almost all the leaves of all edible plants are also edible. That's why cassava leaf is one of the richest sources of iron and protein. Yes.
So up here you have fresh air. The reception is good. If you need to have Zoom calls, WhatsApp.
Okay.
Even though when you go down to where the house is, the Zoom and the WhatsApp is not as stable.
Okay.
But when you come up here,
It is.
Zoom is stable, WhatsApp is stable. So we up into, I call it high up in H.O.E, which is high up in heaven. So the air is real clean. You know, there's no noise. Oh, the rabbit is still, somebody.
You're still here.
Yes,
Hey, little babe.
yes.
What you doing?
I'm here enjoying nature with you all. Ain't that wonderful? Yeah, so I thank you very much for
From.
coming to the top of H.O.E Organic. H.O.E stands for heaven on earth. Our logo, it comes from Kemet. The ancient Egyptian had a symbol for love, and it means to cultivate. So that's, when you look on our logo, you will see the ancient symbol for love, and it's a H.O.E. And the ancient Egyptians knew that we had to cultivate love, okay, for nature, okay? Because what a H.O.E does, you connect it with nature through a H.O.E, right? And that's the meaning of love. Miris is how they pronounce it. So you are in a place of love, okay? We named it heaven, but heaven is synonymous with what? Love. Have you heard the saying, God is love? And we are who? Gods and goddesses. But the way we awaken the goddess in us and the God in us is by being in nature. Because one of another ancient Egyptian word for nature is what? Nectar. You see, so you are close to the Most High right now. This is your mother. I know I'm preaching to the choir, but we're on the mountaintop. This is the promised land, on the land. Don't glorify the cities, okay? Try to escape from the concrete jungle. Try to get you a piece of the rock. You know, you heard that saying, a piece of the rock. Plant trees. Harvest your rainwater. Get your solar. You see, rich people are what? It's not the people who has the most, right? The richest people is not the people who has the most. The richest people are who? The people who needs the least. Okay? Because when you need less, nobody can what? Manipulate you.
True.
No one can make you sell your soul. They come to you and say, oh, my sister, I will give you so much if you would just bow down. Okay? And you tell them, hey, I got everything. I don't have to bow down. Because I don't need your gold. You see? So this is how Africa, we have to become great again. What? By what? Returning to our mother and having everything in abundance. All we don't have, we create. You see? And we explore. And we keep growing like these trees. We never grow old, okay? We just keep growing stronger. Throw that out your mind that you're deteriorating with age. That's not nature. Trees don't deteriorate as they grow.
Uncle?
Trees will grow and grow and grow till some fool come and cut them down. Let no one cut you down. You got that? Let's give myself a round of applause for that statement. Let nobody cut you down. You don't want to be cut down? Who wants to die? Who wants to stop living? Raise your hand. Not me. So, Doc, back to you again. I'm over here lecturing on living forever. Y'all don't want to live forever. Y'all tired, huh? All right.
So what about that video? Are you gonna like post it somewhere?
Yeah, well,
so people-
absolutely, absolutely. You know, I want this
On
information.
YouTube or something? Or like on YouTube or something?
Because we're getting all the Pan-Africanist organizations together.
Yeah, I want you to know.
All of you living in Accra, just get my number. We're starting with our meetings this November. We're putting all the Pan-Africanist organizations, we're bringing them together. Because like I always say, and I never stop saying it, we are first Africans before any other thing else.
No.
What is it?
Is it like a passion fruit or something?
Is that one passion fruit?
I don't know.
No.
It's love.
What is that one?
It's L-O-V-E.
It's love.
Yes, L-O-V-E. That's the name that came to my mind. Don't it look like a heart or something? They're giving you love.
When we were kids, we call this the snake plant.
Yeah.
You eat it and you become as wise as the snake.
Oh,
And the snakes like them too, right?
Probably do.
you talking about this one here?
No, this one. No, this one.
That's the one he's eating. And
And
then,
which is?
and then we have another one too.
Is that the one? You
What
just
is it
gave
called?
us, or
You
no?
know, that one, I don't think that's the one. I just named that one love. See, I told you this is a
What is
discovery.
What is this one
No,
called?
don't pull it.
Oh,
Don't
you
pull
don't
it.
listen, lady, what's
Oh, no,
eating?
don't pull it. Don't. Oh.
That's what the snake,
That is what you were just eating?
yes,
And that's the snake plant.
it makes you as wise as the snake.
Boy, the doc know his stuff, folks. Let's clap for Dr. Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
My hands are full. I'm not putting them
It's
together well.
okay. It's all right. It's okay.
There's a plant called Jama. I'm trying to see whether I can see it. It has,
Ajwa, you wise, though. Ajwa's getting grounded. Let me do like Ajwa. Let me get my feet in the soil a little bit.
Why you kill it? I didn't ask you to kill
That's true.
I'm in his boundary.
Absolutely.
The ant will bite. It will bite you.
Just moving away.
It's
And
true.
then she'll be protected from malaria.
That's why I brought my son here.
Very intentional when I walk.
Yes, I brought my son here, and he killed a butterfly when he was about 3 years ago. So I told him, I said, son, never kill a butterfly again. He looked at me, you know, and to this very day, you know, he remembers never to kill a butterfly.
Great.
So we have to teach them. We don't know that these are our friends and family, and we are the guardians, not to want to.
one of the
to eat
funniest
them.
things that are happening right now, and they are lying to us about it, is that, oh, in the tropics we have so many mosquitoes, the mosquitoes will cause malaria. But the mosquito coil and the sprays that you are using are killing more human beings than they are killing
Right.
than
It's
they are
true.
killing the mosquitoes.
It's true.
You can just make a neem oil
Centronella.
or centronella oil, and then you got an oil burner and diffuse it in your room gradually. You breathe it, it will help you, and it will also keep the insects at bay.
Correct.
I'm writing a project to develop a natural enemy for the mosquito anopheles. I'm looking at insects that will eat the mosquito anopheles so that we use it as a project instead of using those harsh chemicals. Because most of the chemicals, they kill more human beings than they kill the so-called insects we say we want to kill.
You just take all the seeds out.
I eat a lot of plants outside.
Oh, do you?
I'm not afraid.
Oh, wow.
Certain plants you should always keep around you. Number one, a neem tree. You should always grow neem trees around you, okay? Number two, you should always have the bitter leaf, okay? Always have the bitter leaf around you, okay? Also, you should always have the soursop tree around you, okay? Keep those trees whenever you travel.
The neem, the soursop, and the bitter leaf.
Yeah, the bitter leaf and the neem, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, okay?
Are we growing some breadfruit?
Breadfruit, you know, in Liberia, that's where they have all the bread. And the Gribble, they got the breadfruit, so we have to get them.
So the next,
You have some? You Gribble? Okay, good. All right, so
the next trip to Liberia, we need to bring some
yes.
breadfruit seedlings.
But we have the bread nut here, though, in Ghana. The bread nut is really good, too. They sell them, they're in season now. You will see those little nuts. They call them chestnut. They look like, they're called chestnuts. So they grow in the Volta. I've seen plenty in the Volta region. So they bring them all over to Accra in different places, and they sell them in a container, raw and lightly boiled. Very delicious. So we have.
But breadfruit is going to be the game changer, because if you have like 3 big breadfruit trees in your place, and the good thing about breadfruit is that it fruits mostly when all the other foods are in short supply. So you just get one of it, and you can boil it, you can steam it, you can fry it, you can roast it.
Yes.
Breadfruit is so good.
You have the seedlings.
We will send you a picture of it on
I learned how to eat breadfruit when I was in Greenville, Liberia, Sino County.
There are plenty there in Liberia. Doc, tell them about the H.O.E, how the original, and we have the H.O.E also.
Oh yes,
We have it.
I'm even producing a lot of H.O.E seedlings to bring to Brother David.
Yes, we have some. Well, we can start next time you come on down.
I think the H.O.E is the richest natural food I've seen. I've always called the H.O.E the food of the gods, because my uncles at the shrine ate the H.O.E when they were fasting for 40 days before our major festival. And I asked myself, if they could eat only this and not get malnourished, then it means this food has a lot of nutrients.
Yes. We grew them here.
I'm developing a herb tea to give people who want twins. So there's nothing that we cannot do if we are determined to do it.
Yes.
If we are close to nature, there's so much we can do.
Okay, bring it. I'll give you my number. And you call me. I'll make sure you get some. I mean, you can grow it. I want you to grow it. That way you don't have to buy it. Yeah, we don't always need money to cure sickness. We just need to know the herb, knowledge. So we're giving you the knowledge. We'll wait here for the rest of it. This is a very beautiful view here. Doc, I saw this on the ground here. It just jumped out there. I love it. It's so beautiful when they're brown, you know? Yes. They're so beautiful.
These people are buying cocoa from us,
Okay.
and they are making it into chocolates and confectionery, so they don't care.
Right.
Now we are going to produce medicines for things that are killing them. And it is not by choice, but they will be forced to take it because they are dying.
Yes.
And in such a case, we can now easily determine the price
Hello.
the root of this plant works just like ginseng. They call it ordring.
Okay. You get a picture.
And or they continue.
And here's how it grows.
What's the name of it, Doc?
A dream.
A dream.
Yeah, the roots are very strong antioxidants. And it's just like the nunum. You can add it to almost.
Make a tea with this.
Yes. And even with the roots. For typhoid, all kinds of infections. In fact, the root bark is cooked for women when they bring forth, so that they are able to get rid of all kinds of postpartum infections.
And you eat the leaves or drink it as a tea.
You can make it into a tea, but normally when the typhoid is very serious, I blend it raw for them. It's more powerful.
Doc, this is one of the trees that survived the original forest here. Watch your step. This is the only tree on it. This tree survived the original forest.
Wow. The silk cotton.
And it had the, you can find this tree here in the Cancun Park. Watch your head. One of the original trees of the forest. Yes, one of the original trees.
Where is that?
And the tender leaves of this tree can be introduced into your soup if you want to be very fertile.
The leaf,
The leaves, the tender leaves,
the tender leaf.
you can add them to your soup. It enhances fertility.
So since we are not planting the charcoal trees, we leave these indigenous ones here so that in the future, like he said, more fertility, because now we're living in a world where people are not having the fertility rate that they had previously, especially in places like Europe, America, and Japan. But in Africa here, we got to make sure that we reconnect to the fertility, plants and herbs.
Because they are intentionally injecting all our kids now with
Right,
things that will make them sterile.
absolutely.
So we need to get things that will reverse their wickedness.
Absolutely. So this is one of the tanks we catch with the water, and it comes straight from heaven, and it goes in, and we have plenty of water year round. So it never stops raining in the forest. Yeah, it never stops raining. And here's aloe vera. Everybody gets a free gift of aloe vera. Okay, Bishop, please come. Okay, here's yours. Everybody get a free aloe vera if you desire. If you desire, you get a free aloe vera if you desire.
This is what aloe is.
Yes. And all you gotta do is plant it. Just take it home and plant it. It'll grow. Put it in a pot and it'll grow and it'll bring you more babies.
I heard Floppy went with y'all on the hike.
Yeah, and loves it. Okay. Okay.
This is
That's a lot of ants.
a very great blood tonic and antibiotic at the same time.
Okay.
Has a lot of minerals, especially potassium and magnesium and iron.
Okay.
And this can be added to your soup. In fact, I add this to my Astra tea formula. That's why it's able to build the blood so quickly.
It's true. One brother in Jamaica told me the same thing, Yes. Very good.
All right, finally, we have come to the end of the nature walk here at H.O.E Organic.
I'll WhatsApp it to you if that would be okay. Yeah, I'll WhatsApp. Okay, good.
And a lot of us has really learned something new for our life, which is going to be very useful for ourselves and the next generation and the next generations that will be coming. It has again re-echoed the fact that the greatest weapon we have as Africans is our unity. The more fragmented we are, the easier it is for the enemy to manipulate and control us. And it is not if, but we have to, it's imperative that we come together. Once we start serious work together, collaborating, we'll go up and up and up, and we'll be the greatest world power. We have everything here: food, medicine, peace of mind, and everything. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Toda Riba, we appreciate everything. It's been a wonderful experience. We recorded it. We're blessing of Dr. Asare being here. We again thankful to the Creator, Yahweh. We're thankful for being able to allow us to be on the land and the Restoration Village. Westwood in Eden is on the move, is growing, and we want to thank our people for coming out. We want to thank our brother Yakasa for his expertise in recording everything. We want to thank Dr. Asare and his wonderful family, and his book, Chosen to Heal. It's available in my particular book, Healing and Rejuvenating Herbs of Africa, is available. Feel free to come to H.O.E Organic in the Central Region and to enjoy the nature walk when we do them periodically. I thank you. Peace and blessing. I'm Sgan Ahtur Dahveed Jawara. Sila.